Blame. It is the pathetic refuge of the weak, the insidious whisper of the coward, the anthem of the mediocre. You sing it when you cower before life's challenges, when you surrender your power, when you crawl on your belly, pointing your trembling finger at anyone but yourself. You blame the politicians, the rich, the unfair system, the competitors, the parents who didn't love you enough, the friends who betrayed you, the world that didn't hand you its treasures on a silver platter. But every time you do, every time you open your mouth to spew another excuse, you hand over a piece of your soul, your sovereignty, your strength. Who you blame is who you give power to. Blame is the leash around your neck, the chain that binds you, the weight that drags you into the abyss. And the more you blame, the more pathetic you become. Each excuse you conjure is a confession of your own impotence, your own weakness, your own inability to master your life. Look at yourself in the mirror, at the quivering husk of a person shackled by their own excuses. Are you not disgusted? Are you not enraged? Then hear this. There is only one person to blame for your failures, your misery, your mediocrity, and that person is you. Yes, you! The very sound of it must sting like a blade. But the sting is salvation, for in this unbearable truth lies your liberation. If your life is a wreck, it's your fault. If you're poor, it's your fault. If you're unloved, it's your fault. If you failed, it's your fault. And this is not a curse. This is the greatest blessing life could offer you. For the moment you take the blame, you take the power. Only when you accept that you are the architect of your misery can you become the architect of your triumph. Blame is the weapon of the slave, the cry of the impotent, the mantra of those too weak to carry the weight of their own lives. When you blame, you kneel. When you blame, you hand over the throne of your existence to another, begging them to rule you. You blame politicians for your poverty, and in doing so, you proclaim that they, not you, control your destiny. You blame the rich for your lack, and in doing so, you declare that their wealth determines your worth. You blame your competitors for your failures, and in doing so, you admit that they, not you, define your limits. Blame is the ultimate surrender. It is the abdication of your power, your strength, your sovereignty. Every time you blame, you carve another notch in the chain that binds you, another nail in the coffin of your potential. It is the act of declaring to the world, I am nothing but a victim. I am powerless. I am at the mercy of forces beyond my control. Blame is the lie you tell yourself to escape the burden of responsibility. But in doing so, you shackle yourself to the very forces you claim to despise. Victimhood is a drug, and blame is its dealer. It seduces you with its sweet promises of absolution, of freedom from responsibility, of the soothing lie that none of this is your fault. It offers you a throne made of pity, a crown forged from excuses, a scepter carved from weakness. And like the addict you are, you take the bait, you swallow the poison, you revel in your own helplessness. But victimhood is not freedom, it is enslavement. It is the most insidious form of bondage, for it binds you not with chains of iron, but with chains of your own making. It tells you that you are free because you are blameless, but in truth, you are imprisoned by your own refusal to take ownership of your life. Victimhood is the path of least resistance, the path of least effort, the path of least dignity. It is the path that leads to nothingness, to oblivion, to the grave. You are not a victim. You are a coward, and the sooner you face this truth, the sooner you will be free. The world does not owe you anything. Life owes you nothing. The universe will not bend to your will simply because you wish it to. If you want power, you must take it. If you want greatness, you must earn it. If you want freedom, you must seize it. And the first step is to kill the victim within you, to strangle it with your bare hands, to obliterate it from existence. Here is the great paradox. To take the blame is to take the power. When you stop pointing fingers, when you stop making excuses, when you stop blaming the world for your failures, you reclaim your throne. When you accept that your life is a reflection of your choices, your actions, your discipline, or lack thereof. You become the master of your fate. This is not an easy truth. It is a truth that burns, that sears the soul, that tears apart the comforting illusions you have wrapped yourself in. It is a truth that demands courage, that demands strength, that demands the unflinching will to face yourself in the mirror and say, I am the problem. But it is also the truth that sets you free. For once you take responsibility, you gain the power to change. Once you accept that your failures are your own doing, you gain the power to succeed. Once you admit that your misery is your own creation, you gain the power to create joy. Blame is a parasite, and the only way to kill it is with the fire of self-ownership. Do not flinch from this fire. Embrace it. Let it burn away the excuses, the lies, the illusions. Let it sear into your soul the unyielding truth that you are the master of your life, the architect of your destiny, the sole author of your story. To take ownership is to become a god of your own existence. It is to rise above the masses of blamers and excuse makers, to transcend the pathetic cries of victimhood, to claim the throne that is rightfully yours. Ownership is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is the privilege of power, of freedom, of self-determination. When you own your life, you own your failures, your shortcomings, your mistakes. But more importantly, you own your successes, your triumphs, your greatness. You own the power to change, to grow, to evolve, to become something more. You own the power to shape the world according to your will, to carve out a life that is worthy of your strength, your ambition, your potential. Ownership is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the weak, the cowardly, the compliant. It is for the strong, the brave, the unyielding. It is for those who are willing to face the brutal truth of their own existence, who are willing to take the blame, who are willing to take the power. So I ask you, who are you blaming? The politicians, the rich, the system, the competitors, the world. Every name you utter is a confession of your own weakness, your own cowardice, your own failure to take responsibility. Every excuse you make is a nail in the coffin of your potential, a chain around the neck of your soul, a shackle that binds you to mediocrity. Stop blaming. Stop making excuses. Stop surrendering your power to forces beyond your control. Take the blame, take the responsibility, take the power. If your life is a wreck, it's your fault. If you're unloved, it's your fault. If you failed, it's your fault. This is the best thing that could ever happen to you. For the moment you take the blame, you become unstoppable. Blame no one but yourself. Hold no one but yourself accountable. Expect nothing from the world, and demand everything from yourself. Take the blame, take the power, and carve out a life that is worthy of your strength, your ambition, your potential. The world will not pity you, nor should it. You are not a victim. You are not a slave. You are not a shadow. You are the master of your life, the architect of your destiny, the author of your story. Stop blaming, stop excusing, stop surrendering. Take the blame, take the power, and become the force that others fear, the presence that others respect, the power that others cannot ignore. Take the blame, and you will walk the path to greatness. Take the blame, and you will rise above the masses. Take the blame, and you will become unstoppable.